Hello guys, welcome back to Total Football Talk. So I've just literally done a stream and completely messed it up. So yes, we've got to go and try and do it again. Yeah. So welcome to Total Football Talk. I'm Keith. I'm the host of this little channel. Thank you very much for joining me. This is their latest news surrounding Manchester United and the all the latest goings on, and as per usual there's plenty. So we're going to jump straight in with the Casemiro news. There's news coming out that El Nassar have got they've freed up a space in their ranks at the minute. So according to the MEN, the Casemiro medical looks like it could finally be booked in. Now, I don't think there's a date on this, but it looks like there is a chance that, you can see from the caption there that we are kind of moving forward with a potential Casemiro move out of Old Trafford. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel it's the right time for Casemiro to go in this January transfer window? Or do you think we should keep him until the end of the season and try and move him on then? Or do you think that topical is a good fit to kind of take over the wheels from where Casemiro is? So the news is coming out from Fabrizio Romano. He's reported that Anderson Talisca is close to joining Jose Mourinho at Fenerbahce. An agreement is said to be in place for the Brazilian, who is set to undergo his medical in Turkey, meaning Al Nassr will have a foreign player spot freed up. So this is interesting because we've not heard much from Casemiro recently, and it is important, I think, that we get him off the wage book if we can. As I said, Collier's been playing in front of him. I do think we will be slightly light on the bench, but I do believe that if Collier can keep doing what he's doing, the kid's impressive. He's been impressive so far. Everything he's done has been simple, and he hasn't been extravagant with anything. He's done a really good job. He gets around the pitch well, makes good interceptions, and keeps the ball simple. I don't think we should be blowing him up, because we've blown up Garnacho and Menu, and these kids are under fire at the minute because we set them at such a high pedestal, and they drop off that level a little bit, and all of a sudden they're getting absolutely slaughtered left, right, and center. They're not this, they're not that when they're 18, 19, 20. I don't think Collier's slightly a bit older. He's 21, but I just think we should just let this kid ease into the team. Just keep using him when we need to. Let him grow. Let him develop. Let's see what type of player he becomes. Is he going to become a very good six? As I said, he's still at the very early stages of his career. So let's see. Let's just ease him in. But in terms of Casemiro going, it was being very quiet on Casemiro for a long time now, and I think if we could free up his wage, that might help bring in a deal for Dogru, which we look at later. The other news coming out is we're looking at Nkunku and whether you want him at United. Dogru is the other one. And then obviously there's the little bit about Rashford that has come out this morning, with Ruben Amorim's been very, very sort of slating on Rashford, to say the least. Now a little bit on Sir Jim and the United, the board, and how they got pelters at the game at Fulham yesterday. Okay, we'll just come back to the Casemiro news. So that's where I am. I think if he goes and we can reduce that wage like we did with Anthony, that will give us the opportunity to potentially bring in someone else. Dogru being that particular person, or maybe it'll be Nkunku. And the news coming out on Nkunku is this. So Nkunku is open to joining Manchester United, as Chelsea continue, over the exchange with Alejandro Garnacho. But both Chelsea and Napoli have expressed, obviously, an interest in Garnacho in this particular transfer window. We know that Chelsea are interested. We also know that Manchester United are potentially going to look at this deal, and not so much, I think, to service the team, but I think this deal is going to be to service the debt. We're not going to be spending the money from Garnacho. There's talk about 180 million and blah blah blah. No, I think this money, if it does come into the club, will be used to service the debt for next year, and maybe a small portion of it will be used to bring in maybe a player. But what are we doing here? Are we going to let Nkunku come in, someone who has got a couple of goals in the Premier League. He scored most of his goals in the Europa Conference League. But Maresco has been using him kind of sparingly, and it is true. You can see here the MEN are reporting that Nkunku has struggled for playing time under Maresco this season, and he's just started 3 Premier League games so far. I actually think it's 4 Premier League games he started so far, but maybe it is just the 3. But even so, I just think that Nkunku is a good player, but he's not the player he was at Leipzig. He has been injury prone. He isn't injured this season, but he hasn't really done much for Chelsea this season, I don't believe. As I said, apart from in the Conference League, which maybe the quality of the opposition he's been up against hasn't really been that good in many of those games. But he has scored goals. We need a body. Is this another Igalo or a Veghorst? Where are we with this particular one? Please drop your thoughts in the comment. Let me know. Are you Nkunku in, Nkunku out? Do you want him? Do you want him to just shake him all about? What do you want to do? Will he come in and help us between now and the end of the season? This definitely can only be a loan deal because I don't want to buy him. The last thing I want to do is squander more money. We squander money like it's going out of fashion. And my God, in this club, they really need to start saving some money. So I just think it's a case of, is he the only option that we have to look at? And if he is, God, I mean, yeah, maybe we do have to bring him in for that reason, but it can only be for a loan. That's it. It can't be for anything else. If we actually buy this player, I'd be absolutely be disgusted. Just if they're going to bring him in, but and this better not be a swap deal for Garnacho either, because I just think that would be absolutely ridiculous. I don't think it will be. I think they'll want to sell Garnacho to get the full fee, because it helps with the PSR and Garnacho coming through the youth system and all those funds being able to inject it back into the club. But as I said, I think that's the service the debt more than anything else. So that's where we are with those players. Next up, we've got and this came out yesterday, so it's about Dogru, and Dogru was, on social media, and he was liking Xerxes' tweet, which came out last night after the game. I think that, he's kind of making a little bit of a play here. Players do this. They have a little they'll have a little kind of mosey onto social media and, kind of like things and, give hints here and there. And, that to me, that's a strong hint that he wants to come to Manchester United. But I don't know whether their sporting director, who has come out and said this, I don't know whether he wants this to happen. So the sporting director came out and said, talks are ongoing, but nothing's been finalised, with discussions likely to continue later this week. Lecce president Demantane, I can't pronounce that, apologies, expressed confidence in maintaining Dogru's services, because obviously they are in a relegation fight, and I think that they don't want to lose one of their better players. So I think they'll probably want to try and keep him. But if United are going to offer 40 million euros, with 15 of those being add-ons, how do you feel about that? Because for me, it's a no. It's too much money. We bought Malacia for very cheap, and we're going to sell him on even cheaper, so we're not even going to make any money on that. If Dogru going to come in, as I keep stressing this, he's coming into a tough team, coming into a tough situation. Can he mentally cope with the problems that Manchester United currently have? And my God, we've got problems everywhere. Will the weight of that jersey just weigh him down too much and put too much pressure on the kid straight away? And will he hit the ground running? I just don't know if he will. And I'm not saying we shouldn't get him. I just hope if he does come in that he's mentally strong and he's able to cope with the nonsense that's going to have to come his way, because there will be nonsense, especially if he doesn't hit the ground running very, very quickly. So that's where we are with that. I think if Casemiro goes, I think maybe Dogru will come in. But I also think that Garnacho could go. And I also think that if he does go to Chelsea, most of that money will be used to service the debt. But yeah, so there's a lot of players coming and going. Well, sorry, that's not true. There's players leaving, as in Anthony's gone. Hopefully Casemiro will go. Rashford we'll get onto in a second. But we're not really going to be replacing these players straight away. So can the squad cope with with these players not being replaced? Only time will tell. So Marcus Rashford obviously is in the news again, and Ruben Amorim was asked about him in the press conference, and this is making headlines everywhere. And this is what Ruben Amorim said. So he said, "Things I don't change. I will not change. It's the same situation for every player." He's talking about Marcus Rashford. He says, "If you do the minimum, if you do the right thing, we can use every player." And you see it today on the bench. We miss that little bit of pace to change the game. But I prefer it like this. I will put Jorge Vital or 63-year-old goalkeeping coach on before I put a player on that doesn't give the maximum every day. So obviously he's talking about the training sessions and Marcus Rashford not coming up and not giving everything in the training sessions. Unfortunately, this relationship's completely broke. We need to find a way to get Marcus Rashford out of the club. He wants Barcelona. I think Barcelona are interested, and but again, it's how many levers are Barcelona going to be able to pull before they can actually get rid of, or before they can actually bring in Marcus Rashford. So that's a wait and see. Third of February, clock's ticking. Marcus Rashford, for the sake of everybody, for Ruben, and so many questions in the press conference. We need to help him find a way out of this club, and again, that's on Ineos and the Glazers to do this. That's not on the manager. They have got to find a way to figure it out. How are you going to do it? Is it going to be a loan deal and you're going to cover the wages? I've talked about it before, so I'm not going to talk about it again. And that's where we are with Marcus Rashford. Swiftly moving on to the very last thing, and that is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has got abuse from the fans yesterday while in the stadium. They were calling him a "see you next Tuesday." They were at his car window and they were giving him grief about the ticket prices. Fans are just so frustrated because obviously he's come in. He's working with the Glazers. He's where is he with it? But they've done a few good things in the Austin, but there's loads of things they need to really improve on really, really quickly. And I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe got a really clear indication of what the fans, especially those hardcore fans that travel to every game, what they thought and what they're thinking at the minute. And they're absolutely, they're raging at the ticket prices going up. And obviously, these lads and girls travel all over the world watching United, and the brand of football is not great. Obviously, that I don't blame Ruben completely on that because the board haven't helped him. So the Ineos have a lot to do. They need to pull their fingers out, and as I said, the clock's ticking. Let's get on with this bloody transfer window and make some things happen for the manager and start making some better decisions for the club. So that's where we are at. And then finally, we got the win yesterday against Fulham. Important 3 points. We didn't defensively. We were okay going forward. We actually had very little. There's a lot going on. Hoyland's getting a lot of stick. Kid needs maybe a little breather. I think there's talent in him, but I don't know whether he's going to get the chance to survive this. Fans are going to start calling for his head, and he's a young player. He has a lot to learn. I think he could be very good under Ruben Amorim if he gets time to work with him. But at the minute, he is struggling out there, and he does need some help. So. I think Cersei probably will start the next game. But we got the win, most important. We got the 3 points. It just gives us, moves us up the league a little bit. We're not doing anything in the league. Our aim is just to kind of move up the league as much as we can between now and the end of the season, get some more wins and leave it at that. And just, as I said, concentrate on the trophies, on the FA Cup and the Europa League from here going forward. Okay, guys, thanks very much for joining me. I'm going to stop rambling on now, and I will see you on the next one.